What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So let's start this video with a very bad news. And this is coming from all the way from China. So Joan Pradells, the young Spanish IFBB pro, who was all set to make his comeback after a gap of 2 years at this year's China Pro, and who was being considered a strong contender to fight for the title in China Pro and secure his Olympia spot. He has decided that he won't be doing that show today, and the reason is a severe kind of food poisoning that got him admitted to the hospital, and that happened last night. So the doctors have asked him to keep his stress at minimum, keep it as low as he possibly can as he recovers. So he will be taking a complete break from bodybuilding as well as social media. Thankfully, he's gonna be fine, and on the face of it, it is just food poisoning. But if you take a look at the bigger picture, the timing around which it happened, it can become seriously lethal for any athlete, because these guys are on such low carbs. They are on extremely low amount of food and low amount of body fat, and they are just running on fumes at this point. As we all know, while water depletion in the last couple of days, the loss of electrolytes, that can be life-threatening. And this is why I have said this so many times, that there is absolutely nothing guaranteed in the sport of bodybuilding. Anything can go wrong at the last minute. One variable that can totally mess up your bodybuilding plans. That thing is, you can have a perfect prep all the way leading into the show, and things can go sideways in the blink of an eye. Now it is so sad for Joan Pradells, because he was prepping for this show for so many months now, and he was looking very impressive leading into the show. So Rubiel Mosquera aka Nextzilla posted this last minute physique update before this upcoming Dubai Pro show, the show that is doing after 1 year, and the man got everyone's attention, making people rethink, especially the predictions and their picks for this upcoming Dubai Pro. That's gonna go down in just another few hours from now. Now, in my opinion, he won't win this show, but this guy is without any shadow of a doubt a showstopper, and easily the most exciting bodybuilder in this year's Dubai Pro lineup. And the reason is simply the kind of size and the freak factor that he has. Those unreal proportions, crazy body parts, especially those quads on him, they are so damn massive. So can we all agree that he seems to be in a very decent condition, about 24 hours out from this year's Dubai Pro, better than what most people expected. And even the competitors know that if Rubiel gets really serious about bodybuilding, about being an IFBB Pro, if he can bring that same level of conditioning that all of these top IFBB Pros bring, he can be very dangerous. And that too standing next to anyone. It doesn't matter, as long as he comes in condition. If he is sharp enough, if he has the detail, he's gonna be a very scary guy. Now, for someone who has the biggest legs in pro bodybuilding scene, but a guy who's also known for having very little separation and detail in his quads from the front, they are looking pretty impressive here. So what do you guys think? Will Rubiel make it into that top 4 tonight? So the final update from Barton before it's showtime, that is here. So he's gonna bring better conditioning at this upcoming Dubai Pro compared to what we saw at the Legion Sports a couple of weeks back. And that was the plan all along, to bring a better package, a more complete package for this upcoming Dubai Pro. Now as soon as Tonio gets that pump, his front shorts are gonna be one of the best out there. The front double biceps and the front lat spread, they are some of the best in the game. And I think his side leg, in those side shorts, that have came up tremendously, especially since Cali Pro last year. Although I do believe that he's gonna get beat by 3 or maybe even 4 guys in this year's Dubai Pro lineup in the side shots. Now, we did see the comparison of Tonio from last year's Cali Pro versus what he brought this year, but we kind of did not get to see how much size Tonio was able to pack on, standing next to some very good competition, simply because, first of all, he was too dominant for the lineup at the Legion Sports, and second of all, there was simply no big name there to truly challenge him. And we have always said this, that you are just as good as the competition you stand next to. So Tonio knows he's gonna be standing next to multiple genetic freaks, and that too of different nature, we have Rubiel, who is a mass monster, a guy like Nathan Diasha, who is very dense and comes in very conditioned. We have William Bonak, whose density and muscle maturity is completely unmatched. And lastly, we have Behrouz Tabani, who pretty much has it all. So Tonio said that he's gonna give Behrouz Tabani a very serious run for his money, but he's gonna have to beat a plenty of great bodybuilders in order to get to Behrouz Tabani. So guess who just did the guest posing on the day of this year's Dubai Pro? The one guy who was rumored to compete in this show all along, Martin Fitzwater, although he categorically denied it many times after this year's Pittsburgh Pro. That's his only plan, that is to focus on the Olympia this year. So him and his training partner and his best friend, Brett Wilkins, shared the same stage today while guest posing. And I must say both these guys appeared to be in a superb condition for the off-season, considering that they are 16 weeks out from this year's Miss Olympia. Now, different goals for two different athletes. Martin, at the very least, he wants to retain that 4th place spot at the Olympia this year, and that is the same spot where he finished last year. Or in an ideal case scenario, he would certainly want to move up at the very least one spot. But that seems kind of difficult at this point, but not totally unrealistic. Because I must say the fans who are kind of underestimating Martin, they have to realize that it was a big time missed peak by Martin at the Pittsburgh Pro. But that being said, even his own coach, Stefan, seems to agree that he does need more density and more muscle maturity. Now, Martin is coming for redemption at this year's Miss Olympia, especially after what happened at the Pittsburgh Pro. But if we consider that Samson Dauda, Derek and Hadi Chopin, and the mutant Nick Walker, they are gonna be top 4. Martin is gonna have a big challenge ahead of him at this upcoming Miss Olympia, even if he is to retain that same 4th place. Now Brett Wilkins, on the other hand, he will be feeling a little pressure as this is gonna be his Olympia debut. A debut that was supposed to happen a couple of years back. Now he hasn't ever talked about this, that what are his expectations going into his Olympia debut. Does he want to place top 10, top 8? He hasn't said that. But that being said, the man is fully focused, and the size on his quads at this guest posing that we just saw, that was looking so damn impressive. Hopefully he can bring that same level of conditioning, that same level of shreds that he's always known for, but at the same time, with all that added muscle, and without losing all of his pop and all of his wow factor, which has been a major problem with him. So William Bonak also dropped a last-minute physique update before this year's Dubai Pro Show goes down. Now, despite being the guy with the biggest accomplishment in pro bodybuilding, which includes multiple Arnold Ohio titles, not to mention as high as 2nd place at the Olympia, and multiple finishes in the Olympia top 5, not to mention his amazing performance throughout this year, the hype hasn't been around him for this year's Dubai Pro Show. Now the fact is, we all know that William Bonak is gonna be on, just like he has been in all the 4 shows that he has done this year. And this will be the final one before the Olympia this year. Now we can all agree that William Bonak has all the tools to beat a guy like Behrouz Tabani today. He did beat him last year, and that was at the Emperor Classic Spain. So this guy is literally defying the age at this point in his career, because many of you guys might remember this, that he was supposed to retire back in 2023 because his quad started to go down big time, especially at the Olympia that year, and he was continuously going downhill in terms of his placings. But here we are, one day out of this year's Dubai Pro, and William Bonak is still one of the favorites to finish in the top 2 at the very least in majority of the predictions. Now Bonak in his most recent update looks pretty damn solid, and he looks pretty much on. And here is another guy who peaks several times per year, and he nails it each and every single time. So where do you guys see William Bonak placing today? So one of the most classic looking physique, Branch Chen, he's gonna be stepping back on the stage at China Pro today, and he's gonna try to win the 5th Pro Show of his career. And based on what he has been looking in all of these updates, he isn't just gonna win this show. This is most probably gonna be the most ripped version of Branch Chen to date. Now the back has never been very detailed and very separated throughout his career. Now he won Toronto Pro a couple of weeks back, and that too with perfect scores. And if you look at the flow of this guy, especially from the front, That is the most perfectly balanced physique, top to bottom out there. So let's just hope he can continue to build that back, especially in terms of density and the thickness. Because if he can do that, he can get back into that Olympia top 10, maybe even higher than that. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. And smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.